Hi fam, welcome to Driven Life TV. Welcome to another video. Thank you so much for tuning in today. So today we'll be reacting to a video by Candace Owens, and she was answering a question. It was a Q&A at an event that she had at a college campus. And so there was one question that was asked that I felt was very fascinating that I want us to examine. So let us watch that clip right now and then we'll react to it afterwards.
People will have premarital sex. And when that happens, a baby will happen. So wouldn't it be better for the child's sake and happiness to not be born at all than to have a deadbeat father and a promiscuous mother, or even when rape happens? Having a child raised like that, what type of family value is that?
One of the things that the left is really great at is arguing in extremes, right? So I first want to say that to argue into the extremes is not productive, because as a government, you have to create policies that are good for the majority of people. You're never going to get it perfect, but the majority of people. The second thing that I want to speak to is you saying that you don't think it's, that situation that you would want to be born into. Well, I have done a lot of work with people who were the children of rape scenarios, and they're glad to be alive. So it's not our decision to say whether or not someone's life is valuable. Somebody who was raised in not the greatest circumstances and who came from a broken family, I sure as hell am glad that I was born.
People will.
Wow. That's powerful. That's really powerful. Now the reason why I wanted us to look at this clip is because I feel like sometimes in our generation, people are taking it upon themselves to actually do some of the things that were considered unspeakable some 3 decades ago, maybe even 4 decades ago. We see it in our communities here in Africa, things that are actually happening that never used to happen in the past, only because maybe people have been influenced by the West to start adopting ideas that are very egregious, to be honest. And so one of the issues is the abortion issue. And so someone will actually say a mother is justified to get rid of a baby just because maybe it was a product of fornication, or maybe adultery, or maybe even rape or incest or things like that. But what I always say is that no matter the circumstances of birth, or maybe it's the circumstances of conception, maybe whatever happened for this child to come to be, one thing is certain: this child has purpose, because it's not really human beings who create. It is actually God who creates. And so the answer that Candace gave here was actually very important, because sometimes people are taking it upon themselves to decide whether someone lives or dies. And people are also taking it upon themselves to actually determine beforehand to say this person will have a terrible life. So let's make sure we exonerate them of that, maybe exempt them from that, so that we can just say, okay, let's just eliminate their life so that they don't really have to experience the hard times that come with maybe a path that starts the way it has started for them. But what I say is that you never know. You never know. Maybe that person can actually be the greatest president that your country will ever have. Maybe that person can be the best medical doctor. Maybe that person can be the greatest preacher that the world will ever see. You never know what a person will become just based on you seeing the circumstances of conception. Now, we've seen so many testimonies of people who were children of rape, children of maybe some of them, they survived an abortion and their parents didn't want them. And then the next thing you know is they end up doing some of the greatest things on earth. It's because sometimes we feel like we are God, that we can tell the future and how things will be. You say, we've seen parents who are not well to do. Maybe a single mother, she has a baby, but she knows that doesn't have money and she can't really take care of the baby properly. Maybe some of them look at that circumstance and say, no, I can't keep this pregnancy. Let's just eliminate it. No, keep the baby. Don't commit murder just because you feel like you won't manage to take care of the baby. Purpose is given to every child that is conceived, and we must always remember that. Now I want to read a verse that is one of the most amazing verses in the Bible, okay, just to cap this off. Now there's a verse in the Bible in Psalm 139 verse 14 to 16. I'll read from the NLT, I think. Let me just search for the NLT. I think it sounds good there. Okay, so the NLT says, "Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it. You watched me as I was being formed in utter seclusion, as I was woven together in the dark of the womb. You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single day had passed." Do you understand that actually God lays out a path for every child that is actually conceived? Once He knits together a human being, there's already a path and a destiny over them. And please don't deny anyone of that opportunity to actually see what God can do with them. So every life is precious. Every life carries weight. Every life has a destiny. And the answer that Candace Owens gave there was really important. And I feel like every young woman and every young man in our generation, no matter the circumstances of conception, whether you made a mistake, whether something happened to someone, always remember life is valuable to God. And He is the one who determines what that life will become. Okay, let's not become judge and jury. Let's just allow God to have His way. Okay, so this is what I wanted us to talk about. Please tell me in the comments what you think, and please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, have a good one.